As we get older, it gets harder and harder to make new friends, and it's even more difficult to keep a lot of friendships active. And sometimes you fall out of them because of newly discovered differences. Other times you simply have grown apart. And as bittersweet as the separation may be, it's nice to cherish those shared memories you've made together. Yet I've talked to a lot of people who feel a bit of guilt about, these friendships that fade away. What they say to me is like, how am I supposed to forget someone that I've made so many memories with, that I've shared all these things with? How are you supposed to let go of someone who once meant so much to you? And so that guilt is something that's fairly common, and it happens. You can't really avoid it, and it happens to everyone. The good news for us is that these friendships are a bridge. The bridges, they'll stay standing until either one of you sets it ablaze. The bad news is you never really cross that bridge anymore. It's not a part of your path as it once used to be. As I look back at my relatively short period of time being alive, I have a lot of friendships with a lot of people, and I've made a lot of connections with a lot of people. And many of those people I'm no longer really acquainted with. I'm not at the top of their mind, and they're not at the top of mine. Yet, something kind of gnaws at me knowing that. Am I to simply forget the girl that I spent hours with just talking about the state of the music industry? Am I supposed to forget the underclassmen who I would talk to about what was in store for their future and just give them pointers on what professor to take, what classes to avoid? Am I to forget my classmate, one of my earliest friends in college, where we spent so much time speculating about what was going to be on the upcoming exam while taking one of our walks around campus? Am I to forget all these people? Yeah. The answer is yeah. It's a natural part of life. I can forget these people, and they can forget me, but we'll both keep the memories. All of those tiny moments, those little caches of happiness, we'll always have them. Like, as I'm talking about this now, I'm thinking back and I'm recalling like all these wonderful little snippets of my life in a way. And you wouldn't trade those for anything. If I were to see any of them, I'd probably settle for one of those cheesy 80 movies, like a knowing smile and like a nod. You know what I mean? I could be happy with that. And the unspoken bond is something that's indelible. We formed tracts in each other's consciousness, and that made us the people that we are today. Many friendships are chocolate kisses. They're sweet, but they're also fleeting. In my camera roll, I'm greeted by the faces of an unfamiliar past. I see a lot of memories, but I see a lot of misses too. There's misconnections, miscommunication, misunderstanding, but that's life. That's just how it is sometimes. It's the downs that makes the ups feel more uppity. If that's a thing. I just made that phrase up, but it's the contrast, really. Because you have that hot fudge sundae with smooth vanilla ice cream on top. And that just sounds really good. I might want to get that after this. I intend to keep making friends. I just have this tendency to do that anyway. And the thing is that I will make a lot of fleeting friends, which is those friendships I mentioned where you just don't see each other that often anymore, but you had some good memories, but you grew apart. You fell out of touch. That's completely normal. I feel that as I get older, I want to find more of the second type of friend, what I like to call a Waystone friend. There's something to be said about the people in your life with whom you feel you can never get enough time with. This is the person you can go months without seeing or hearing from. Yet once you get back together, it's like no time has gone by at all. This is the friend who feels comfortable going on at length about themselves, and that energy is reciprocated. You amplify each other's energies, and you hang on to each other's every word. And these are the friends that are on your wavelength, and it feels like their companionship alone is enough for a lifetime. And that's so much harder to find compared to just the fleeting kind of friend that I mentioned earlier, where you have a lot of good, happy memories with people, but it's not something where you feel per se as secure that that relationship is going to be there and you can just pick up like nothing ever happened, because no matter how much you grow, you still feel like that person that you're talking to is that same person that wants to maintain that connection with you, and it feels so effortless. So that's the key thing. It just feels so effortless. And the reason why I call this type of friendship the Waystone Friend is because I was just bored one day and I thought, you know how sometimes you'll think of a word and you're like, is that even a word or did I just make it up? When I was writing about what I thought about friendships, the word Waystone popped into my head. And so I looked it up and I realized that it was actually a thing in Minecraft, of course. So I read up on it. In Minecraft, there are these things called waystones. A waystone structure can be found throughout the world. By interacting with one, it is possible to teleport between them using levels. So if you manage to reach one, you can transport to another place instantly. And after I read that, I thought, yeah, that's pretty much it. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. You've acquired a lot of experience, you've acquired a lot of levels or whatever, and you just feel that you could just snap right back into it at any time. That's what a Waystone Friend is. The few people in my life that I would refer to as my Waystone Friends, I treasure them a lot. The only reason why we found each other is because we met a lot of people, and so that led us to each other. If you want to take away something from this video, which I think is really important, is that if you go out and you just try to meet as many people as you can, just try to put out that good friendly energy, then you'll be surprised at like just how many nice things come back to you. I think that in those travels and in those interactions, you'll find someone who fits this ideal of a Waystone Friend, where it just makes you feel like you're at ease and you know for a fact that this is someone that you feel like you can count on. So it's a vibe-based thing. There's not really a science to it, but one thing I can tell you for sure is that if you go out and try to meet more people, then you have a higher chance, obviously, of finding a friend like this. And so you got this friend, you got this Waystone Friend, you love catching up with them, you love the tea spills, you love every single moment that you spend with them. And it's like when it's time for one of you to go, you're like, oh my god, that time just flew by. That's like something that happens with friends in general, where you're like, the time just flies by. But there's a different type of openness and kind of vulnerability that you can have with a Waystone Friend that you wouldn't otherwise have with any other friend. It's that level of comfort, I feel, that's so critical to it. And you can be separated by distance and even by time, but there's a warmth in every message, every meme that you send to them, and every utterance. And you feel really happy to share their wins, and it feels like you two are working in your own little corners of the world. And when you get back together, it's like, yo, when two queens or two kings reunite to maximize their joint slay. That's kind of what it's like. And it feels more real when you're with them, because they keep it 100 with you. There is no set criteria for a Waystone Friend, and I think trying to operationalize it or like try to create these measures for it kind of defeats the purpose. The idea of a Waystone Friend is that they make you feel comfortable to be you. No matter how much time has passed or how far away you are, you can always just hit them up and pick up right where you guys left off. A Waystone Friend can be someone that keeps you grounded, or they can make you feel weightless because you're pretty much floating whenever you're with them. These are people that you can feel comfortable forgetting. You can still pick things back up as soon as you think of them again. There's like no pressure about it. It just feels like a natural chemistry, if you will. Nowadays, with everyone just thinking a lot about their relationships with other people outside of their family, it can be very difficult to navigate. I want you to know that yes, it is possible for you to find someone where you feel the conventional rules of friendship can be tossed out the window. That's something I'd want everyone to experience for themselves. It's the equivalent of flow for friendships, and that is where you're stable and secure and things are okay. So these Waystone friends are really critical because they help you become a better you. They nudge you to aim higher, to fly faster, to keep pushing yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's personally, professionally, whatever, you just know that you can count on them. They teleport you into their own world, and it's with an earnest desire to share what's going on with them. And, you know, not all friendships are like this, of course, but having one or two of these even is sometimes enough to make you feel a lot happier in your day-to-day life. I guess to wrap things up, I would say that a Waystone friend is someone that you feel like they're like the closest person to you that could be family that's not biologically related. That's the level of comfort and support that I'm thinking of. And you know, I hope that as I get older and my circle understandably might get smaller, I hope that I have more Waystone friends and those types of friendships get even stronger. To all my Waystone friends, you know, cheers until we meet again. I hope listening to me speak for a little bit about this has given you some perspective. Maybe you already have a Waystone friend or someone who fits these kinds of descriptions that I've laid out. And so I think if you have a friend that fits everything that I've been talking about, then you may already have a Waystone friend. But if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, or you're like, what is he saying? I'd say just think about trying to meet more people. Try things out, meet more people, always be meeting more people, and spreading joy in any way you can. And, you know, universe got your back. So, yeah. Catch you guys later. Peace.